Welcome to the One Question series. My name is Makiva Nivens, and I'm joined by Dr. Yaffa Bey. Today is Sunday, February 9th, 2025. Dr. Yaffa, what caused the divide between Mexican immigrants and the erroneously called Black African American community? Why did this division happen, especially when such discord didn't exist before?
That is an exquisite question, and it's going to take a short trip down memory lane and historical lane. The people that are over here now, marching and showing so much Mexican pride or Latin American pride, as they want to call it, and out there, you don't want to go home. You don't want your people to go home, but you're not waving the U.S. flag. You're waving the flag of home, and you don't want to go home, and you're burning the flag of here, but you want to stay here. It's just like you have these imposter Native Americans, you have imposter Mexicans. And I'm going to tell you why. Back in the 1800s, Mexico ended slavery. I believe it was 1829. Don't quote me on that. Where the United States was still doing slavery. People have to remember this. If you know about Emperor King Moctezuma, brother Montezuma, and how the Aztecs predate all these pale-faced people running around here now saying they're indigenous Mexicans. Some of them are by blood, but they've lost their phenotype. Just like some of the Native Americans are by blood, but they've lost their phenotype. And frankly, a lot of Native Americans and the Mexican Americans look like the same motherfuckers to me. Okay, real talk. And they basically look the same as the people in Israel and the same as the people in Palestine. They all look the same to me. But when it's all said and done, Mexico was originally all melanin rich, what nowadays people call black. And those melanin rich Mexicans are still in Mexico. And you roll up on them and it's like, oh, that's a brother, hey, brother. And they don't speak no English. You know? No entiendo. They don't look. I know, no comprende. I don't understand. I don't understand you. So when you comprehend that the original people in Mexico were what everybody now calls black people, and they're still there, a lot of them. So who are these people running around over here now? You have some that are the darker Mexicans, and if you see a wedding of theirs, a lot of times you'll see this elderly sister running around serving people. You think she's the servant, and when, in all fairness, she's grandma. She's grandma, abuela. But a lot of people don't like melanin rich people. Why? Because they're really the children of the invading conquistadors. Okay? Speaking Spanish, when this ain't Spain, Mexico ain't Spain. I'm just saying. It's so bad that I know people from El Salvador and Guatemala speak Spanish. I thought they were all the same. They all look the same to me, just like people think we all the same. And I'd be like, what, Mexican, this, and they'd be like, damn Mexican, they get insulted. Well, what do you mean you're not Mexican? I don't know, don't confuse me with those people. I'm Guatemalan. I'm El Salvadorian. I'm no Mexican. I'm like, oh, why the hostility? Like, our people don't even like those people. I'm like, why? Because when we are trying to get to the United States, we have to come through Mexico. Those people give our people hell. They rob us. They rape our women. They try to kill us. They make our journey and our lives miserable. They are wicked. They're so mean and vicious. We can't stand them. People don't like them because they don't know how to act and how to treat people. Now, in the 1800s, 1829, I believe it was, Mexico ended slavery. The United States was still doing slavery. A lot of our melanin-rich people, because remember, the invaders came over here from wherever, some from France, some from England, some from Spain. They came over here invading, and a lot of them were running our people everywhere. So your people might have been in Florida or the Carolinas, and they ran you to Georgia. And then some of them, they moved you to Oklahoma. Other people, they deported you, or not deported, they shipped you off to Africa and Europe and other places to put you on slave auction blocks. Shipped you off to help work on the Vatican. These are the things that were done to the American Indians, not the Africans. It was the American Indians that they put into bondage this way. So, because our people that weren't captured were running from place to place, you run from the Carolinas to your people in Georgia, and then you run from them when they come there. You run from Georgia to your people in Louisiana. They kept running us, and some of us ran to our people in California. It's kind of like if you have relatives. Let's say you're born and raised in Virginia, and you moved to California, and all heck starts breaking out in California. You're going to leave and go back to you might decide, I'm going back to my people in Virginia. This is it. They ran us all around the Americas. A lot of our people, see, because a lot of Mexicans are like, you guys, our people fought wars for you, and we helped, we looked out for you when you were running from slavery, and our people died for you. Well, yeah and no. Yeah and no. The Aztecs were melanin rich, chocolate brown, mahogany colored, copper colored, cinnamon colored, dark brown peoples. You're not those people. You're those people that came in and tried to wipe those people out because you don't like them and you don't like their color and you don't like the wealth that they had that you wanted to take. So you wiped out King Montezuma or Emperor Montezuma, and a lot of our people ran into Mexico running to their people. It wasn't really Mexico at the time, okay? All of America was America. The invaders came in and created these imaginary lines and borders. And the whole time they were all trying to wipe the people out that were found here. So a lot of our people ran into what is now called Mexico to get to their people that were over there. And there was a point, because my ancestors are from Nagash, okay? Nagash, Natchez, Nacogdoches, depending on if you're Spanish, English, British, how it's pronounced, all same people, some on one side of the river or the other. In 1832, they went to battle because the leader of Mexico at that time either was a full-blown brother or a mixed blood brother. Don't play, okay? Like the leader of Mexico now is Jewish. I'm just saying. So when it's all said and done, you run to your people, and your people aren't buying into the slavery. And there were invaders there, and some of them had gotten mixed into the blood. Now, people are whiter and lighter and brighter, and some of these people aren't even mixed blood. They're just invaders' children. So in 1832, they had the Battle of Nacogdoches, and this is how the Mexican-American War all even got started, about our people running to their people on the other side of what is now called Mexico. And that's how the United States even got a hold of California, Colorado, at least the bottom half of Colorado, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, so on. There are places here that used to be Mexico. But they wound up trying to come after slaves into Mexico, and the brother in charge at the time, not these people that are over here making all this noise, that was a brother. The brother at the time would stop them at the Alamos. No, y'all not coming past here. And they dropped a whole lot of the pilgrims in North America, well, Mexico's North America, what they now call mainland USA, about it. I think that was around 1836, somewhere in the 1830s. The Mexican-American War began in 1846, and it was still all about them trying to come in after the slaves that were running from what is now the United States into what is now Mexico to their people that were just always there, and there was no line before. Okay? So because they were allowing everybody to flee into Mexico, Mexico had finally decided, okay, fine. But what people don't understand is there were conditions. When they sold the states or the parts of Mexico that are now the Southwest and the West, they did an agreement whereby Spanish The Spanish language had to be on all the documents in the United States. That was part of the agreement. So a lot of people feel like, well, you blacks should be helping us and supporting us, and whatever the deal is. There was a point in time. You have to remember, in Tres Zapotes, in Tuxtla Mountains, in the state of Veracruz, the Olmec Sheeheads are there, and people. My son and my homegirl went to LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, at 5905 Wilshire Boulevard, to go see what they were displaying about the Olmec Sheeheads in Mexico. And when they walked in, there was about 10 to 20 of them. No. It was about 10 of them. They walked into the exhibit, and everybody was in this room, sitting all around looking at stuff and looking at videos, and they were the only melanin-rich people that walked into the room. And all these other people that are very, very bleached up, pale and white in color, were sitting around talking about how these were not melanin-rich people, and they weren't black people, and they were white people, and they were Asian people, and they were their people. My niggas looked at one another like, are these people serious? Like, we're not even here? Like, we don't know what's going on? Now, you have to understand, the sister that went there and took my son with her, who was, he was a youngster at the time, maybe 25 at the time. He's 40 now. They were like, wow. She had taken a group of people, like 20 people on a bus. I think they went on a bus, but 20 people went to Mexico, to the eastern side of Mexico, to Veracruz, to see the heads. She took pictures of the heads. She's no longer walking this earth, but she took pictures of the heads. There were pictures taken of her standing next to the heads, the front, the back. Some of these heads had feathers on. They had cornrows, braids, locks hanging down their hair. And these people are going to have the audacity to try to make my people think, oh, these were white people. These were Asians. Well, if they were Asians, they were the original ones that were melanin rich, like the original everybody was a melanin rich. I don't even know where all these pale-faced people came from, except from incest, inbreeding through incest. I know about that. But I don't understand how people can be so rude and disrespectful to people. In Mexico, the people that, the original Mexicans, the real ones that are still there, they're melanin rich, and the darker they are, the worse they're treated, okay? They treat them badly. They get over here, and they treat us badly. Now, the Mexicans used to be real cool. We used to get along with them smashingly. We were cool. They were cool. Everything was cool, despite the fact that Franklin D. Roosevelt reclassified them as white. Never mind that. They were still cool, because a lot of them were darker, and a lot of them were mixed blood, and they were melanin rich, or more melanin rich than these over here making all this noise today. A lot of the divide began when Richard Nixon officially declared them white in the 1970s. That's when they started showing us their whole ass. Like, what the hell happened to the brothers? Y'all was cool. Now y'all acting like y'all don't know nobody, like y'all better than everybody. Y'all getting racial on people out of nowhere. We had no beef with them. They had beef with us. Probably because they were white. Don't start me lying. But when it's all said and done, people have to remember, when they say, why won't the melanin-rich people that they call black stand up with us? Try to remember this. We were getting along great in the communities. We were cool in the communities with the people that came over here way back. And then now you got a bunch of new breeds. A lot of people that came back way back came over here to get away from the new breeds that just ran over here without doing a process. And a lot of them are still cool with us. We don't have beef with all Mexicans, but we can't stand up for a group who, I remember living in LA, and they got an order from the cartels in prison to start killing brothers on sight. They didn't care if the brother was 2 years old, 102 years old, rich, poor, famous, or a nobody. Just kill them all. We don't care if they with their women, if they with their children, if they with their wives, their mamas, kill them all. And they got that order, and the only thing that stopped them was immigration started coming after them, and they had to start marching for their rights to stay here, marching downtown LA. And our people had the audacity to go march with people who were trying to kill us before. And even Arizona and a lot of states got on that whole time to go, time to go. And then they had to start marching for their rights then. They were more peaceable about their protests then than they are now. You know, burning the United States flag is a declaration of war, whether they know it or not. But people are not warring on them. They would be warring on us if we wouldn't be burning a flag, and we'd be in trouble. I'm just saying. So people have a tendency to also forget. I believe it was I think it was in 2020. The Latin Kings, who were basically a Mexican gang, but I looked at the leadership at the top, all Italians at the top, and the Mexicans at the bottom. I'm just saying, when it's all said and done, in 2020, the Latin Kings, I forget the name of the boulevard, they were just randomly murdering melanin-rich people. Coming down the road, they didn't care if you were in the car, if it was women, if it was children, if it was elderly, if you were in a car with white people, if you were in a car with whoever. They would ram cars into the cars, trucks, vans into the cars. They would T-bone them. They were trying to kill them. They would shoot at them, shoot into the cars. If they got out of the car, they would get attacked. They would beat them. They were standing at this major intersection. Big intersection is like, 2 to 4 lanes going one way, 2 to 4 lanes going the other way. Big intersection. And they were standing on all 4 corners. And they were just hanging out in Chicago, waiting on any car and every car with anybody melanin rich, and they would attack the car. Whether the light was green or red or whatever, they would attack the car. Our people have not forgotten that. Now, a lot of our people don't even know about that, but our people remember. They are in LA, they were on the freeways. They were shooting at people Mexicans were shooting at melanin-rich people on the freeways. Walked up to a sister at AutoZone that was under the hood of her car. They thought she was a brother. They shot her. Man, I got him. Wasn't it him? And it doesn't matter. Him, her. Y'all have been attacking our people for no reason that we understand or comprehend. We don't even know what your issue is. You got declared white, you got cold, and then these new groups, they got mean. And I still know Mexicans that are real cool, but they're darker. And the paler, whiter, brighter ones have issue with the darker ones that are still cool with us. Man, leave my customers alone. You dealing with these niggas? They're my customers. Don't mess with my customers. They are feeding me and my family. So you got this new group that's over here tearing stuff up, burning stuff down, being a problem. And we didn't have no beef with you. Whatever the rift is or the issue is between us, it began with you guys, especially after Richard Nixon declared y'all white in the 1970s. That's when y'all started getting ugly. We were all good with one another before that. We got along just great. Some of our people still get along great with Mexicans and will still stand with the individuals we know that are cool, but we cannot come out and say anything in your defense or for you when you guys have deliberately, intentionally, and purposefully been attacking and killing us for no reason. Now, because y'all do that, they might decide to go on and let y'all stay just to help them mess us over. But you see now, they don't care about you either. And if you don't see it now, you'll see it sooner or later. Maybe even if they let you stay, don't mean they won't turn on you again. So when our people said, hey, Mexicans and blacks and brown coalition with y'all, and y'all was like, nah, we don't do blacks. We ain't with you blacks and whatever. And some of y'all are cool and some of y'all not cool. My brother has some cool homies. And then there's those that come in the community, they take up all the parking spaces, block the parking on the streets of LA. They got their friends coming out, they'll wait there, double park, waiting. You got people sitting out there waiting to park, and y'all will come and move a car, and somebody will pull in to take the space. So the people that have been there forever can't even park because there's 20 of y'all in the house and y'all got 10 cars. I've seen it. I've lived it. I've seen it. But our people are all good. We're not mad at y'all, but we haven't forgotten. We can't. We can't help people that are trying to kill us, and the only thing that's stopping you from killing us is the fact that they're coming after you, and now you want us to stand for you when you've been trying to murder us. I don't see how we can. We don't hate anybody, but y'all got mad hatred for us, and we don't even know where it came from. Y'all need to try to figure that out amongst yourselves, amongst your communities, because some of y'all did try to put that stuff down and tried to stop it when it was happening, but we don't even know who to trust anymore, and that's across the racial divide. Harambe.